Thank you so much. I was still impressed by the music and by what you told about it, Mahmoud. Yeah, thank you to be a speaker at this wonderful meeting, and honor to Mahmoud, who initiate all those beautiful initiatives, which are very important to me throughout my life. I'd like to remind you of the title of my presentation. The title is a quote from the Song of Songs in the Bible, Hebrew Bible. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. And my attempt in this short presentation is to rethink religion as of the experience of the kiss. So I'd like to associate religion with the experience of the kiss. Whether the kiss which a woman receives from a man, or of the experience of being kissed as such. Toward the end, I will draw upon the gender issue, which is, of course, involved in this. So my proposal is to rethink religion in terms of the experience of a kiss. Now, I have a few background considerations of associating religion with the kiss. 4 background considerations. The first one comes from a book which inspired me a lot, Der Stern der Erlösung, Star of Redemption, by Franz Rosenzweig, published in 1921. A very recommendable book, very difficult as well, in which the author interprets revelation as a love experience. And he suggests to rethink revelation as of the biblical book of the Song of Songs, rather than from some content, intellectual content, which God conveys through a prophet to man. The essence of revelation, according to Rosenzweig, is an erotic experience, a love experience. So that is the first consideration which I had in my mind, suggested by the author of this book. He thinks revelation in terms of a love experience, a love declaration. A second consideration which I had in my mind, sorry, I'm not always, do not always coincide with my slides. A second consideration is that the experience of being kissed amounts to a kind of susceptibility or passivity, an original passivity, an experience of receiving. To be kissed is to receive. So that is the second consideration which I had in my mind when talking to you today about religion in terms of the experience of a kiss. A third consideration I like to bring to your attention is I'd like to invite you to your first experience of kiss, or your imagination, your fantasy of being kissed or of kissing. And whatever that experience, whether it took place in real or only in our dreams, that doesn't matter so much. The first love kiss is something magic, something which permeates the entire human being. It is promising, and it forms a prelude, or perhaps, who knows, a kind of foreplay to something much more than this. So a kiss is promising. It is inaugurative. It inaugurates something more, whether or not that more comes or does not come. So that is my third consideration at the background of my presentation, in which I'd like to associate religion with the experience of a kiss. It's a kind of psychological consideration. The first love kiss is something magic, maybe something metaphysical. Now, and my fourth consideration, and then I will give you some quotes from two mystical poets. My fourth consideration is that the kiss constitutes a meeting with an other, or with the otherness of the other. Maybe more than anything else, the experience of a kiss is a confrontation or a meeting or an encounter with the otherness of the other. Now, before I go further, I'd like to illustrate my point, or maybe I should say to enhance the foreplay which my short presentation aims to come down to, by quoting two famous poets, one of them being, of course, Rumi. How can Rumi be neglected in this beautiful conference organized by Mahmoud? Rumi, a 13th century poet from Persia. I have two quotes, two short distica. The first one, I would love to kiss you. The price of kissing is your life. Sorry, this is not a literary translation. It's literal, but not literary. I don't speak Persian, but I like this. I would love to kiss you, but the price of kissing is your life. And the second one is, my lips got lost on the way to the kiss. That is how drunk I was. It is as if the kissing experience itself is preceded by a drunkenness which anticipates the kiss. So much for Rumi. Two quotes to bring us into the mood. I don't know if you know this poet, a kind of equivalent to Rumi, albeit from a Christian background, Angelus Silesius, a German poet from the 17th century, and very famous for its cherubinische Wandersmann, the cherubinic wanderer. And let me quote two short poems of him. 3 ranks are kissing God. The maids fall to his feet. Virgins draw near to him, his gentle hand to kiss. And the bride, that's the third category, the bride, so wholly is wounded by his great love, she lies upon his breast, kissing his honeyed mouth. The first poem on the kiss by Angelus Silesius, and the second one is even more enigmatic. Just read it. God kisseth but himself. His spirit is his kiss. The Son 'tis who is kissed, the Father who did this. God kisses but himself. Okay, that's my second quote to bring us in the mood. Now, what is a kiss? What is a kiss? We think we know what a kiss is, but perhaps we do not know what it is, because one might say that a kiss, a kissing of the other, is very dysfunctional use of the mouth. The mouth, we usually use it for eating or for drinking or for speaking or for breathing. But why kiss with the mouth? What is the use of kissing? So, well, this question is interesting because the answer is not clear. You might say, well, does that need an explanation? Because we like to kiss. But what is kissing for, in fact? Let me remind you of the translation of the verse, which is the title of my presentation, Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, from Song of Songs. The translation by Franz Rosenzweig and Martin Buber, who translated the Hebrew Bible in German, but not in average German, but in Hebraic German, German close to the Hebrew. And they just translated it as follows. I will just retranslate it into English afterwards. I put in red the words which matter to me right now. They translate the Hebrew, tränke mich mit den Küssen seines Mundes. So, tränke, that is in English, drench. Let him drench me with the kisses of his mouth. In Hebrew, it has yeshakeni meneshikot pihu. And for you to know, the Hebrew verb to kiss is nashak, but there is a related word, shakan, which means to drink, or in the factitive stem formation, to drench. So there is a play on these words in the Hebrew text, which of course can hardly be made accessible in the translation. So let him drench me with the kisses of his mouth. And in light of this play of words in the Hebrew text, the following verse becomes intelligible, which says, for your love is better than wine. Your love is better than wine. Wine is something which we like to be drenched with. So you see, the kiss is a kind of transmission of something. And the kiss which is meant here, and we're talking not about a love book or about erotic novel, but we're talking here about the Bible, a book in the Bible, the Song of Songs, which is talking not about an average kiss, but about a strong kiss, about a tongue kiss, in which intensity is searched for, the exchange of liquids, the loss of self. Let me turn once more to, that is still Hebrew, yeah, okay, sorry. Let me turn again to Rumi, because Rumi should accompany us all throughout. Another one on the kiss. I sipped some of love's sweet wine, and now I am ill. My body aches, my fever is high. They called in the doctor, and he said, drink this tea. Okay, time to drink this tea. He said, take these pills. Okay, time to take these pills. The doctor said, and get rid of the sweet wine of love's lips. Okay, time to get rid of the doctor. So you see, it seems as if the poet prefers to stay ill because the reason of his illness is a healing experience. It is the mystic kiss which he's talking about, which comes down to a sucking, to drinking, or perhaps of being drenched, of receiving a life force and a healing from soul pain. I come to the last part of my short presentation. So it's not a lecture, it's a short presentation. I'd like to briefly address the gender question, which today more than ever is an actuality. So many women or perhaps men might be inclined to say, but this is an expression of neglect of women, etc., etc. Okay, I admit that I am not so oversensitive on this point, but nevertheless, I'd like to address the issue. So you can ask, for example, regarding the quote from the Song of Songs, who is being kissed? What is the gender of the one being kissed? What is the sexual identity of the kissing one themselves, the kisser and the one who is kissed? What is their gender? Now, if we take another look at the quotes, some of the quotes which I gave, the first quote of Angelus Silesius, the first quote, the kissed one is a woman. The kissed one is a woman. That's a quote, I don't know if you remember, which is about the three ranks are kissing God, the maids who fall to his feet, the virgins drawing near to him, and the bride who so wholly is wounded by his great love. There, the kissed one is a woman. And but the second quote from this Angelus Silesius, it's very subtle. God kisseth but himself, his spirit is his kiss, the Son 'tis who is kissed. So first it is a woman who is kissed, and the second quote, it is a man who is kissed. Now, my suggestion for an explanation is that the gender is transformed by the kiss. It is the kiss which determines the gender and not the other way around. On the one hand, insofar as one is the receiver of the kiss, or perhaps even a seeker of the kiss, one is a woman. So insofar as one is the receiver of the kiss or a seeker of the kiss, one is a woman or a bride. Footnote remark, Abulafia, I will end by quoting Abulafia, the Jewish mystical thinker, refers to the receivers of the true Torah as the mevakshe haneshika, the seekers of the kiss. The receivers of the true Torah, that's the mystical thinkers, these are the receivers of the kiss. So insofar as the receiver of the kiss, as one receives the kiss, or one is a seeker of the kiss, one is a woman. However, insofar as one is kissed, one is a man, or perhaps even a son. So there may be a distinction between, on the one hand, receiving a kiss, which refers to the act of being kissed, then one is a woman. But when one is kissed, as a result, one becomes a son. You may be reminded here of Meister Eckhart, I think you know him, whose one of his major topics is the Gottesgeburt in der Seele, the birth of God in the soul, which makes one a son. So, to sum down, something happens in or throughout the kiss, something is received through the kiss, a healing and restoration. Now, it is my hypothesis that the alleged gender difference about which we're talking so much today, that the gender difference is not so much a brute fact, which we have to accept, either one is man or one is woman, but rather a metaphor which relies on the primordial literality of a figure of a kissing experience. The kissing experience may precede gender. So that is my hypothesis. Of course, that needs explanation. I don't think that we have time for it now, but it's my hypothesis. I'd like to end as follows, coming to a kind of conclusion. The especially, well, mystical traditions as such, but especially Jewish Kabbalah, it often draws on erotic metaphors for the divine revelation, the metaphors of the kiss, of sexual intercourse, of birthing, etc. Now, you can say, but these are only metaphors, because what is meant is something far more intellectual, just an embellishment of the intellectual transmission of content. Now, what if this were not just a metaphor? What if the relation between metaphor and the literal is less sharply demarcated? What if the reception of revelation corresponds to the primordial erotic experience, of which even human intercourse is only a shadow? So I'm making a case for
the time, please.
Yeah, 30 seconds. I'm making a case for the kiss being an original experience of revelation, rather than some content which might be embellished by a metaphorical description in terms of erotic experience. Now, I end by this quote. This is my last slide. Abraham Abulafia, 30th century Kabbalist, who refers to the receivers of the Torah as the seekers of the Kish. And you will like this quote, I'm sure, and you will give me this 10 seconds extra, Mahmoud, if you read this quote with me. This is my last one. So this is Abulafia speaking about the erotic experience of revelation. And you shall feel in yourself an additional spirit arousing you and passing over your entire body and causing you pleasure. And it shall seem to you as if balm has been placed upon you from your head to your feet, one or more times, and you shall rejoice and enjoy it very much, with gladness and trembling, gladness to your soul and trembling to your body, like one who rides rapidly on a horse, who is happy and joyful while the horse trembles beneath him. Thank you very much.